Hello everyone and welcome to round 8 of the URL-GT1 Championship. We are in Australia at Phillip Island. Let's jump right into the qualifying results. Qualifying was held in overcast conditions. It was looking as if it would rain, but it didn't, and Tony Ukic took the pole with a 1:24.3, just in front of his teammate Peter Backus. Looking further down the field, it was Fabio Bartolai taking the AM Cup pole with a 1:26.4 in front of Anze Rast in P15 overall. Florian Kutz was serving a no qualifying penalty. So here's the grid. Looking from the back, Fabio Bartolai here on the right has a good start, and in the front as well Miguel Santiago Carao is 3 wide. Also Sten Mikkel Olsen and Greg Metcalf are side by side. Let's see how this pans out. Very close moment there. But I think, yeah, indeed, it's Peter Backus who took first position into turn 2 from Tony Ukic. For the rest, very clean first 2 turns. And very close here between Sten and Robert. A small touch, but Mandio overshooting his breaking point, hitting Sten. Fortunately, he can lose a minimum amount of time, and Mandio waits for him to let him back past after that small tap. Very close here, and of course last GT1 race was at Monaco, so everyone will be thinking there is a lot more space here. Of course that's true, but never overestimate this tricky track. Michal Klisch currently in P5, just in front of Robert Horvat and Greg Metcalf. Tony Ukic seems to be quite close. Oh no, it's Peter Backus, sorry. He's still in second, but he's very close to Tony. So he didn't pass him in the first lap, but he will now, it seems. No, it goes wide, and as you can see on the screen, it's starting to rain quite heavily even. So a bit of sliding around from a lot of drivers, not expecting it, and suddenly there is also spray already, so a real downpour here at the coast of Phillip Island. Big look here from Mike Greatrix, and now people starting to slide around everywhere. Let's hope everyone stays safe. Tony Ukic there in the front, he goes off. We will see him here. Yeah, he goes off, so he loses first position to his teammate Peter. And now it's very, very close here in the back. Greg Metcalf goes off the track. I think everyone will be pitting at the end of this lap, so everyone will be fiddling, talking to their pit engineers to get those wet weather tires ready and possibly top up the fuel tank. It is very, very dangerous and slippery, so everyone is on their toes, tippy-toeing here. Oh, and Tony makes a pass on the pit entry on Peter Backus, who was a bit more cautious. So here's Peter Backus going into the pits, and we'll see probably the whole field streaming past him. Miguel Santiago Carao slots in behind him. Here's Mike Greatrix, Greg Metcalf as well in the pits. Fabio Bartolai in the Maserati. Then I think it's indeed Michal Klisch. Olivier Duplessis will come through with Florian Kutz right on his tail. So very, very close here and very chaotic in the pit stops. At the end of lap 3, these were the standings. So Peter Backus came out on top in front of Tony Ukic, and it was Miguel Santiago still in third. So So the top three stayed the same. Then Reinhard Berger, followed closely by his teammate Greg Metcalf. So the rain plays a big role, but everyone still on the track. Reinhard Berger has to pit again for a stop-and-go penalty. Unfortunately, Magno Liguori here struggling to get those wet weather tires up to temperature. Then Olivier Duplessis in the McLaren, in the Lamborghini, followed by Florian Götz in his Aston Martin. And it's Angelo Guidici in P9, and Avik Panexander rounds up the top 10. Robert Horvat in the Ferrari F40, and with Florian Manolace. Fabio Bartolai is the leader in the AM Cup, followed closely by Anze and Vladimir. And Fabio just made a mistake, so he loses that first position in AM. He's followed by Michal Klisch. 1 or 2 laps later, Florian Götz was ready to take P6 from Olivier Duplessis. Some good speed on the main straight, very quick here, very quick right-hander for turn 1, very tricky on this wet track. And Michal Klisch made it up to P8 after being lost after the pit stops, and he's followed by Robert Horvat. And I can tell you that Robert seems to be flying, so I don't know what he did to his car, but he has a really good car in the wet, and he can just power past Michal Klisch for P8. As I said, Robert Horvat has superior grip over everyone else, it seems, so also Anze Rast will be his victim. He goes for the inside in the last turn. Anze leaves some room, and Robert goes through for P7. Here again, Robert now already in P6 a bit later, behind Florian Manolace and Anze Rast again, so they made up some ground, all of them, and now passing Florian Manolace on the inside. Yes, he keeps it steady, and he takes P5 at the moment. Of course, very chaotic due to all the pit stops people are making to be on the right tire. It's raining off and on. Here it's Olivier Duplessis now behind these guys, Florian and Anze. And Anze is being lapped effectively, so by Florian, but not by Olivier, I think, and he will lose a position to Olivier while it was so chaotic. Now Tony and Miguel pitted for tires, and Miguel came out just in front on lap 15 more or less. Tony has some good speed. Has to back out of it into turn 1. Miguel was a bit wide, so Tony's tires in the Sabine are looking a bit better than the Panos, it seems. Of course, Tony was on pole, so what a mistake from Miguel in the Panos. And Tony P3, and Robert Horvat here is not too far behind. Let's see if he can get close to Miguel. Clouds are still very dark, but it's not raining as hard as before anymore, so the wet weather tires will be heating up quite quickly. And again, Robert is really flying here on this wet track. You see him taking meters and meters on Miguel, having superior top speed and grip. Wants to go around the outside, but Miguel understeers here on the fast turn. Lucky they didn't collide. Miguel will want to stay in front, but it will be very difficult if we see the speed at which Robert is gaining ground on him. Will he do the over-under? Can Miguel keep it tight? Or he doesn't leave some room? There's Michal Klisch, I think, going into the pits, and Robert goes through. P4. Of course, everything will still change due to the weather and the pit stops. Here is Robert. Just after passing Miguel, makes a mistake while lapping, I think, Manuel Liguori or Angelo Guidici, and he loses the position back to Miguel. Michal Klisch here powers past Anze Rast, and he comes out just in front of Angelo Guidici, who comes out of the pits. P12 for Michal at the moment, and Robert here, he got close again to Miguel Santiago. Bit of a slide, very fast left-hander here now. Side by side. It seems Miguel is in front. Can he keep it tight here and get on the power early enough to keep Robert behind? Robert takes the ideal line. Very, very close. Don't touch. No touches here. And Robert goes for the inside, side by side. Will he be able to make the move into turn 1 or turn 2? Let's see. Has some good speed, goes for the inside. Still it will be tough. Yeah, he outbreaks Miguel into turn 1, so P3 at the moment for Robert Horvat. Florian Kutz came out just behind Robert Horvat after a pit stop, and he passes him when he came out of the pits. So Robert not having a very dull race here. He's just behind Florian and finishing his first lap after the pit stops. I think he will pull the same move as on Miguel. Oh, very, very late on the brakes in these conditions. Can Florian do something? I don't think so. So Robert is in front. As I said, it's very chaotic with pit stops left and right, so that's why we're not showing you any pit stops done. Everyone picks his own moment. Now, Peter Backus. The story of the leaders. Peter Backus is in front. He pitted very, very early, and he probably has to pit again. Tony Ukic is not too far behind him, followed by Greg Metcalf. He passed Miguel Santiago Caral for P3 after a small mistake. Miguel here in P4. He's followed then by Robert Horvat, so he is now stable in P5, followed closely by Florian Kutz. Then it's Olivier Duplessis, Florin Manolace, he's already a lap down, I think. Then it's Anze Rast, first in the AM Cup in P9, Vladimir Jelicic in P10, second in the AM Cup, not very far, and then Avik Panexander, and he is followed by Angelo Giudici in P12, so big gap, and Angelo is just in front of the leader. Michal Klisch is in P13, Fabio Bartolai, Reinhard Berger, Mike Greatrix, and Sten Mikkel Olsen had to retire from the race. So very late in the race, Peter Backus comes in for his splash and dash pit stop, and he will have to concede his first position to his teammate Tony Ukic, who's now rounding the final fast turn. So Peter will lose position to Tony and also to Greg Metcalf, so he will come out in third, and Greg and Tony will not have to pit again unless something dramatic happens with the weather. So here Robert Horvat in the very late stages of the race makes a mistake. He was in front of Florian Kutz, but here Florian can make the move, and he can go through for P5. So fortunately he loses that position, Robert. Peter Backus, as we said, he's on fresh rubber, probably ideal rubber for this weather, and he's closed the gap to Greg Metcalf very rapidly. Tony Ukic is not too far in front, some 8 or 9 seconds. So in these final stages he goes for a big look, but he gets past Greg, and he will try to hunt down his teammate Tony Ukic for the win. Here he is, Tony. So as I said, not too far in front, but he will stay in front. He will finish 6 seconds in front of his teammate Peter Backus. So another 1-2 after their 1-2 last week at Zhuhai in the GT3 League. Tony Ukic and Peter Backus. Very good race from them in these treacherous conditions. Everyone really. Craig Metcalf also did a great job with the right pit strategy and not a lot of mistakes. He's followed then by Miguel Santiago Carao, Florian Kutz. He's in front of Robert Horvat, as we saw. Then it's Florin Manolace in P7. Olivier Duplessis will finish in P8. And the rest in P9, taking the AM Cup win. Congratulations to him. Very difficult race. And P9, top 10 finish. Very well done. Avik Paniksander is in P10. He splits Anze and Vladimir Jelicic, who finishes in second position in the AM Cup. Then it's Michal Klisch in P12 and Angelo Guidici in P13. Then Fabio Bartolai, Reinhard Berger, and as we can see on the final standings, also Mike Greatrix and Sten Mikkel Olsen. They didn't finish the race. Manlio Liguori also did not finish the race. So a lot of non-finishers, 5 in the opening stages where the rain came down very, very hard. But here we can see the final results. As we saw, Robert Horvat was flying at some point in the race. He also set the fastest lap of the race. And Tony Ukic took the win in front of his teammate Peter Backus with 6 seconds. Only 6 drivers finished on the lead lap, but very difficult conditions here in Phillip Island, so there are some excuses to be made. Now, next week we're going to Istanbul Park for round 8 of the URL-GT3 Championship, and we hope to see everyone back there. Grids have been a little bit smaller the last 2 or 3 races, but we're looking at 20 plus drivers again at Istanbul Park next week. So stay tuned and watch the highlights or join us at unitedracersleague.com.